Hello everyone, it's Mindful Marie here. Today we are going to talk all about self-care. What does self-care mean to you, and why is it important to carve time out of your day for self-care? So if I were to answer that, self-care means to me, it is one of the most important practices of my day in order to really understand what my body, my mind, my spirit, and what it needs. And so self-care is basically giving me the resources, tools, the energy I need in order to function and do the things that I want to do, and in order to live a healthier lifestyle. And so self-care can be defined as the practice of preserving or improving one's health. So that's generally what it means to me. It's a practice that I use to improve my health in every area of my life. And so that's what I want to talk about. Is self-care is more than just a bubble bath. Bubble baths are great, don't get me wrong. I love a good lavender bubble bath that is absolutely piping hot. That is just my preference. However, it can calm me, and it can calm my body, and it can calm my spirit, but there are other forms of self-care that need to be addressed, and understanding the purpose of self-care can really help when it comes to practicing your own self-care and taking care of your own needs. And that's what I'm here to tell you today. In order to make it a little easier to understand what the purpose of self-care is, I created an acronym for it. And so what self-care means is self-compassion, empathy, love, L is for love, self-love, F is for fun, creativity, I'm like messing up here, awaken, being awake or truly present in what you're doing, R is for relaxation, and E is for energize. So hoping that this video will give you a better sense of what those words mean and how you can practice each one of them. And so here we go. So the first one is self-compassion. We always talk about how we need to have more grace on ourselves and practice self-compassion because we are only human and we make mistakes all the time, and that's okay. But it's a matter of how we treat ourselves and how we talk to ourselves. And so having self-compassion is important when practicing self-care, because you're giving your body a break and understanding that you can't just run and then not take any breaks or take any time to nourish your body and your soul. And so understanding the concept of self-care and understanding that in order to practice it, you need to have self-compassion. You need to be aware and be mindful that you need a break. You need some time for you. You need some time to, like I said, nourish your body, nourish your soul. And so having self-compassion is the first step in having self-care. The next is empathy. So we always talk about empathy as showing empathy towards others and being empathetic, which I think is amazing. I think empathy is my superpower. I think I'm definitely well-versed in putting myself in somebody's shoes and helping them out from there. However, I don't think we show ourselves enough empathy, and that's kind of strange because it's easier to show ourselves empathy than it is to show others empathy. Now, having empathy is kind of putting yourself in the other person's shoes, like I said, to kind of understand what they're going through. And I can guarantee you will never fully understand what somebody's going through because we each experience pain, we experience things in our own way. However, we know, and we've been in our own shoes. So being in our own shoes, we know exactly what we've been through. We know exactly what we need. We know exactly what's going to comfort us and what's going to relax us and relieve that anxiety. And so I think showing ourselves empathy needs to be that essential part of self-care. I know exactly what I've been through. So I know that for me, companionship is important to me, human connection. I love that. I love having a phone call with a friend or having lunch with somebody, which has been really hard during COVID. And so I know for a fact, because I've been through such, tough heartache last year. And so for me, companionship means a lot. And so I know that because I've been through it. I've been in my own shoes. So show yourself some empathy when practicing self-care. The next is love. So this may tie into both self-compassion and empathy, but loving yourself for who you are sounds a lot simpler than what it really is. So it's taken me a long time to really love who I am. I've always had this desire to be a better person and to grow and to learn and to be this amazing person, this smart woman who's successful and just knows a lot and is high up in her career. But in reality, it didn't matter how high I went. It didn't matter how much I knew. If I didn't love myself for who I am now, I'm never gonna love myself, even if I, achieve that success that I'm looking for. And so that is so crucial when practicing self-care, because you need to love yourself first before you can love others. And that sounds selfish, but for me, selfish is not a negative term anymore. Being selfish is taking care of yourself first before you take care of others, only because if you don't take care of yourself, you don't have anything to give, or if you do, it's not going to be 100%, and it's not going to be everything you are and that unique person that you are. So showing yourself love and loving yourself for who you are inside and out, every part of yourself. I'm not just talking about, your favorite parts of your physical appearance or only the couple of characteristics that really stand out. No, you need to love yourself for all the days, all the bad, all the good days, all the good and bad parts of your body, which for me, there's no such thing as bad part of your body. Of course, disease, I would see as a negative thing, but even then, your body is beautiful. Your body is you. This is you. Like I said, you are unique and there is nobody like you. So show yourself some love. And again, it ties into self-compassion, and love yourself first. Fill your own cup before you pour into others' cups. The next word is fun. So having fun is a big part of self-care. Practicing fun or being playful is so important to rejuvenating and kind of getting that side back. Or when you were a kid, you would probably remember running around either on the beach or in the playground, or climbing the monkey bars. I remember swinging from the monkey bars. That was a fun time for me. And so I think we all get so serious in our work life and in our busy life that we have right now that we forget that we are allowed to have fun. We are allowed to do things that bring us joy and happiness and reminisce on the days that when we were kids and we didn't have all the stresses of life. So have fun. For me, having fun for me can be playing. My favorite board game is Clue. So I always have fun playing Clue. I love murder mystery for some reason, but playing that game brings back memories of when I learned it as a kid. Or playing Mario Kart. I am the queen of Mario Kart, if you guys didn't know. But playing Mario Kart on my DS Lite is something that I love to do on my free time, just for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be like an hour or whatever, but having that break and getting, distracted from what's going on in life, like that can really help. And that is definitely a part of self-care. So have fun, guys. The next word is creativity. So this kind of ties in with fun as well, but having a creative outlet is really important when practicing self-care. And I'll give you an example of this. My blog, Mindful Marie, that is definitely a big creative outlet, a big part of my healing. And I'm so thankful I have it. I'm so thankful I have the resources and tools to, have created my own website and have internet access and a computer and whatnot. But writing gives me a sense of relief from my anxiety and stress. And for me, if I can write something that helps others, that also makes me happy and brings me joy. So that is a form of self-care for me. That creative outlet gives me the energy I need. It gives me the motivation I need to move on with my day and what's going on in my life. So the creative outlet can be drawing. It can be creating music. It can be if you're a math whiz and you want to create formulas, or if you're a scientist and have theories and methods. Like, I'm not into that, but if that's what you like to do, anything that's creative, definitely do it. We are all creative. I don't care if you think you're not creative. You are. Sorry about it. Everybody has their own creative way of expressing themselves, and I suggest you practice that when practicing self-care. The next word is awaken. What I mean by awaken is to fully be awake and be present in what you're doing. I know that we can get very busy and habitual. I know that most of our decisions that we make in the brain are habitual. So that means like waking up in the morning, we normally would get up and brush our teeth or go to the restroom, or if we go on a walk at the same time every day, it can become very, monotonous, or, like I said, practicing that habit, you might not realize what's going on around you. So you might not truly be present because you're so used to being in this habit of taking that walk at the same time on the same route every day. And so what I mean by being awake or awaken is not necessarily not asleep, to be awake or asleep. It's to fully grasp and be present in what you're doing, like on that walk, noticing all the birds that are flying around, or the beautiful plants and nature that God has given us, or what do you smell? Do you smell your neighbor barbecuing? Do you smell I'm trying to think of something else I would smell on my walk, but just noticing those, using your senses is definitely a part of being awake and being present. So that is definitely a part of self-care. You want to, if you're taking that bath, you enjoy that bath and you be present. What are you feeling? You feeling warm inside? You're feeling relaxed? The lavender you smell, that is a form of being present, is smelling what do you smell in that bathtub? Or do you have music on? What are you listening to? I put a relaxing playlist on. So again, being awake or fully awakened, that is a very important part of self-care. The next part is what you're most familiar with. It's relaxation. So relaxing is a crucial part of self-care. It's just the concept of being still and resting your body and returning to homeostasis. And so I don't see running as a form of relaxation. I mean, I could be wrong, I'm not a runner, but that gets your heart rate going, and I can almost guarantee that you're not, for sure you're not still, but you're for sure not relaxing. Your body is constantly working to keep your heart's beating faster than it normally does. Your muscles are working, your lungs are working because you're getting tired and you're, using up all that energy. And so relaxing would help bring all of that part. Let's just say you ran, you went to work, you picked up your kids, and you made dinner and all that stuff. You're probably exhausted at the end of the day. And so practicing self-care by relaxing is very important. Even if it's laying down watching a movie, for me, relaxation means grabbing a good book, sitting in my favorite reading chair, dimming the lights, and putting some relaxing music on. And that is my prime place to relax. That is the ultimate relaxing situation for me. So that's just an example. Again, whatever you think is relaxing, that's what you need to do. I would recommend doing it. So there's relaxation, and then the last letter E, another E, is for energy. You might think, oh, if I'm relaxing or if I'm practicing self-care, I shouldn't be using that much energy. Which you're right, using not as much energy should probably be the goal of self-care. That way you can get more energy. But the point of self-care is to gain all that energy back and to nourish your body into, like I said, homeostasis, so you're able to move on with your busy work week or your busy day. And so you don't want to do, for example, drinking 3 cups of coffee in the morning just to wake you up. For me, that's not a form of self-care. Yes, I love coffee, and I think having that nice cup of coffee just to enjoy the taste, the smell, and just to have it in the morning is a great nostalgic thing for me. However, if I were to use it instead as a caffeine substance to keep me awake, it would defeat the purpose of self-care, because we all know we have all that caffeine and then we totally crash. We end up crashing in the afternoon. We end up being more tired than we originally were. So, like I said, you want to do things that are going to nourish your body so you're able to have that energy. So use your energy wisely. So of course, sitting down reading a book, I'm using minimal energy, but I'm using some energy. Of course, I'm using my brain to understand and comprehend what I'm reading. And, like I said, I am using a little bit of energy there. But ultimately, the goal is to energize us to move on with our week so we can take care of our bodies and the cycle goes over and over again. So there you have it, guys. My self-care acronym. That's self-compassion, empathy, love, meaning like self-love, fun, creativity, awaken, which means being awake, being present, relaxation, and energy. So if you guys want to write that down, I highly recommend it. I know it's a good reminder for me as to what self-care really is, but you definitely want to apply all of those things to your self-care routine, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes a day. I practice more than that, but if you only have minimal time, use it. Carve that time out for yourself because you are going to benefit from it at the end. I'm a huge advocate for self-care. If you've talked to me in almost every conversation I have, I bring up some form of self-care, like meditation or journaling or reading a book. Like somehow, some way, self-care comes into the conversation. So if you want any more tips or tricks as to how to apply these forms of self-care, please reach out to me. You can check out my blog on mindfulmarie.com. I have my blog on self-care, and if you don't want to write all this down, I have just a structure of what that acronym is and ways you can apply it. And so I hope this brings value to you, and I hope that you take the time to practice self-care today. Okay, love you guys and take care.